West Virginia has had two more players enter the transfer portal, both of these coming from the offensive side. Let's talk about them. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome back into the Country Roads Webcast here for another West Virginia roster update here on the football side. April 16th edition, as the Mountaineers have seen two more players enter the transfer portal. One has already announced his intention to do so. The other not showing up on the university's official roster anymore, so likely the foretelling sign that it's heading the same way there. So we'll go ahead and do a roster update here like we've done a couple, over the past week or so already. Like I said, these will continue to come as more players enter the portal, as of course more players that are already signed to WVU enroll. We'll continue to bring you these roster updates as the roster continues to unfold throughout the offseason leading into the 2025 WVU football season. But before we get into this one and talk about the two latest transfers out from the West Virginia roster, just want to give you guys a quick reminder, if you would, hit that thumbs up button, help us out with that YouTube algorithm so this video can find more Mountaineer fans like yourself. And if you are one of those that hasn't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe here to the channel so you can stay up to date on this football roster. In today's day and age, transfer portal NIL era, it's hard to know who's going to be on the team, but we'll keep you up to date every step along the way here on the CRW if you have that subscribe button clicked. Throw your thoughts in the comments on the roster as it stands currently or on the departure of either of these two players. But no further ado, let's talk about those two players. First up, let's talk about the entry from the running back position, and that is Judah Price, former preferred walk-on out of Independence there near Beckley, West Virginia, right near where my hometown part is here in West Virginia. I'm in Mercer County. I actually work in Raleigh County. So another one that you hate to see entering the portal, but did announce on social media he will be transferring with 3 years of eligibility remaining. Shared some clips there and made a really nice statement you guys should check out if you haven't already. So let's add Judah Price's name to the transfer out list and then update the running back position of the roster here. All right, so we have to add Judah Price in here, who is the 29th name added to the transfer out list here. The next one we'll talk about momentarily will be the 30th. Of course, he is from the running back position, so let's pull up the roster and take a look at that running back spot here and talk a little bit about his departure as we can remove him from the roster now and see where we remain now at running back. Following Judah Price's removal from the position, West Virginia now left with 4 running backs on the roster at this time. Ty Edwards, that just transferred in, the redshirt senior. Of course, the great Jaheim White, favorite here of the show on the Country Roads Webcast. And then Dior Hubbard, a really talented redshirt freshman. And Clay Ash, who just won the Nicolich Award there prior to the spring game. So 4 running backs left on the roster for now after these departures that we've had at that position. Let's see who else is on the way out as a transfer. And that is someone from the tight end position. As we said, both of these coming from the offensive side. This one right here was shared by our friend Mike Asti over at WVSportsNow.com. A couple of sources have reported this now. In a somewhat shocking turn of events, a player who was competing for a starting spot has been removed from the WVU football roster. Tight end Jack Samarco now appears to be exiting the West Virginia football program, as you see him put out there on social media. And this one is a little bit surprising to me. One of the more surprising entries thus far. I didn't think West Virginia would have any other tight ends leave. And if they did, Jack Samarco wasn't one that I thought would be a candidate to do so. But it seems like that is indeed the case. So let's pull back up our transfer portal tracker and add the 30th name there to the transfer out list. And that would be, of course, Jack Samarco, the tight end, who will be leaving as well, becoming the 30th transfer out for West Virginia here in this cycle, as they had to make room on the roster and they want to bring in some more pieces in the portal. So we'll take a look at the tight end position on our roster tracker. But before we do, I'll slowly scroll back through the transfer out list. For those of you who have not seen some of the names that transferred out previously, you can, of course, pause the video and check out some of those. But let's update the tight end position and take a look at the West Virginia roster here on our April 16th roster update. All right, and as we pull this up, of course, we now have to remove Jack Samarco's name. And interestingly enough, just like the running back position we just talked about, 4 players remaining at the tight end position also. Greg Genross, the redshirt senior, Jacob Barrick, the senior, Noah Braham, and Colin McBee are the tight ends remaining on the roster now for West Virginia here. And those are the 2 updates we wanted to get to on our April 16th roster update. But as I talk here, I'll kind of slowly scroll through the roster so you guys can get a look at that too in its entirety, in addition to the running back and tight end positions, which are the only 2 positions that have changed here now since our last update that we did, but with those two transfers out there, Judah Price and Jack Samarco, that's the big change. But we'll scroll back through this so you guys can get a look at the full roster as it stands currently. Like I said, subject to change. More players may head out. Definitely got more players that are going to be enrolling that have already signed. And then, of course, we're going to go out and get some more transfers now that the portal is opening here on the football side. There'll be plenty of transfer portal updates and roster updates from us at the CRW, and we'll try and keep those coming for you guys. Because, like I said, in the NIL and transfer portal era, you always hear fans say you never know who's on the roster. Well, we try and change that for you here on the CRW with these roster updates, just like this one we've brought you here on April 16th to close this one out. But there you have it. Jack Samarco and Judah Price transferring out, making it 30 players to leave the West Virginia football program. And there's a snapshot of the roster here on April 16th. And you kind of heard my thoughts there throughout, but I'd love to hear yours as well. Drop them in the comments here on this video. We always appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the CRW community throughout Mountaineer Nation. And another way you can help us do that is just by hitting that thumbs up button, helping us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm so this can find more Mountaineer football fans like yourself. And if you are one of those that wants to stay up to date on the WVU football roster throughout this offseason where it's going to see a lot of changes, be sure you got that subscribe button clicked so you get these videos directly into your feed. Doesn't cost you anything, and you can stay up to date with the players on the WVU football team. Having said that, as always, I appreciate you guys. And until next time, let's go Mountaineers.